A heart ignored. A battle for justice in the ER. The emergency room of St. Mary's Medical Center in Chicago pulsed with chaos. Monitors beeped erratically, footsteps echoed on linoleum, and voices clashed in a sterile frenzy. Evelyn Harris, a 52-year-old black woman, stumbled through the sliding glass doors, her hand clutching her chest. Each breath was a knife, sharp and shallow, her vision blurring under the fluorescent glare. Sweat beaded on her dark skin as she gripped the check-in desk, gasping, "Please, my chest. I can't breathe." The nurse, a woman in her late 40s with a name tag reading Susan, glanced up from her computer. Her eyes flicked over Evelyn, her modest blazer, her gray-streaked braids before dropping back to the screen with a sigh. "Take a seat, ma'am," Susan said, her voice flat. "We'll call you when it's your turn." Evelyn's knees buckled, but she forced out, "It's bad. I'm dizzy." Susan's lips pursed, irritation flashing. "Ma'am, black women often exaggerate pain. Sit down and stay calm." The words cut deep, a familiar sting Evelyn had endured too many times. She swayed, gripping the counter, but Susan turned away, typing with purpose. In the crowded waiting room, a white man in his 50s, clutching his arm, was whisked to triage within minutes, a nurse's voice soothing. Evelyn sank into a plastic chair, her pulse pounding, her phone trembling in her hand as she texted her husband, "Marcus, at ER. They're making me wait." Memories of her mother flooded back decades ago, dismissed in a similar ER, her heart attack misdiagnosed as nerves until it was too late. Evelyn, a retired school principal who'd mentored countless students, felt invisible now, her pain reduced to a stereotype. A young nurse, Lisa, lingered near the desk, frowning as she whispered to Susan, "Should we check her vitals?" Susan waved her off. "It's drama. We've got real cases." Lisa hesitated, her eyes on Evelyn, but stepped back. An hour dragged by, Evelyn's vision fading, her breaths ragged. Then, the glass doors hissed open, and Marcus Harris strode in, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the ER's chaos. At 55, he was a real estate magnate, his firm, Skyline Properties, a major donor to St. Mary's Cardiac Unit. His dark eyes scanned the room, expecting to find Evelyn in treatment. Instead, he saw her slumped in a corner, ashen and struggling. His stride was steady, but his voice, when he reached the desk, was steel. "My wife, Evelyn Harris, has been here an hour. Why hasn't she been treated?" Susan's indifference cracked as Marcus slid his business card across the counter. "Marcus Harris, CEO, Skyline Properties, primary donor." Her face paled. "I'll get the charge, nurse," she stammered, scurrying off. Marcus knelt beside Evelyn, his hand warm on hers. "I'm here," he murmured. A stretcher arrived, and Dr. Reynolds, a weary man in his 40s, rushed Evelyn to a treatment bay. An EKG revealed a dangerous arrhythmia, her chart noting a family history that should have flagged her immediately. "This was missed," Reynolds muttered. Marcus's gaze burned. It wasn't missed. It was ignored. Because of her skin. In the treatment bay, Evelyn's breathing steady with oxygen, but her resolve hardened. She wasn't just a patient, she was a survivor of a system that had failed her mother. Marcus demanded answers, his voice low but lethal. Why wasn't her chart prioritized? Reynolds sighed. "Triage is subjective. Nurses make calls." Evelyn lifted her oxygen mask. "They made a call based on my race." Lisa, the young nurse, lingered nearby, guilt in her eyes. She stepped forward. "I've seen it before," she said softly. "Minority patients wait longer." I didn't push back. Marcus nodded. "You're pushing now." Marcus stepped into the corridor, calling his assistant, Karen. "Pull the ER's triage logs. Cross-reference wait times by race. I want data by morning." Back in the bay, Evelyn closed her eyes, her mother's face vivid, her smile, her final gasp. Survival wasn't enough. She wanted justice. Marcus returned, meeting Dr. Reynolds. "I'm meeting the hospital director tonight. Triage shouldn't bury people like my wife." Evelyn's voice cut through. "It's not a mistake. It's a choice." In Director Elaine Thompson's office, Marcus faced a woman in her 60s, her calm practiced. "Mistakes happen in chaos," she said. Marcus slid a tablet across her desk, showing that black patients waited 47 minutes longer than white patients. "This isn't a mistake. It's biased." Thompson hesitated. "We'll cooperate, but keep this internal." Marcus's voice was ice. "You don't hide behind my wife's survival." Downstairs, Evelyn typed a blog post. Unseen in the ER, her words raw. "When you're left gasping, it's not just time you lose. It's dignity." By dawn, a leaked audio from Marcus's meeting went viral, his voice stammering. You saw her skin before her symptoms. The hashtag Evelyn protocol trended, with patients sharing stories of ER neglect. Evelyn's blog exploded, her pain a mirror for thousands. Marcus released triage data, 17 cases of minority patients delayed, all tied to Susan's overrides. The hospital's vague press release couldn't stem the tide. Evelyn, now in recovery, read messages from strangers. Your story saved my mom. Her heart swelled, but a new threat loomed on anonymous text. Stay silent or regret it. Weeks later, at a national healthcare conference in D.C., Evelyn stood backstage, her navy dress sharp, nerves tingling. Her keynote, The Geography of Pain, wove her story with data, challenging ER systems. The threat lingered, but she stepped into the spotlight. I was told my pain wasn't real because of my skin, she said, her voice clear. This is a map where race decides who gets seen. The crowd stilled, her words piercing. She cited the 47-minute gap, the 17 cases. A skeptical CEO shifted, but her data held firm. Mid-speech, news broke. Susan was fired, her triage overrides deemed deliberate. The crowd roared, but Evelyn pressed on. This isn't about one nurse. It's about a culture. Back at St. Mary's, the Evelyn protocol slashed wait time disparities by 62%, and AI kiosks displayed transparent data. Lisa, now a trainer, led staff dialogues, sharing her own story as a Black nurse ignored for promotions. A mural, Every Patient Seen, adorned the ER. But Susan filed a defamation lawsuit, claiming she was scapegoated. In court, Evelyn testified, her voice unwavering. I was told Black women overreact. My chart was ignored. Lisa's testimony, backed by staff, exposed Susan's pattern. The judge's nod signaled a shift. Outside, a rally chanted the Evelyn protocol, patients' stories fueling the fire. The lawsuit collapsed, Susan's claims drowned by data. St. Mary's cafeteria became a community hub, with a plaque honoring the protocol. 12 hospitals adopted it, and Marcus's AI was open-sourced globally. Evelyn, now advising a national health coalition, spoke at a forum. No one waits to breathe, she said, clips trending with every patient seen. At home, she and Marcus stood on their balcony, a crayon drawing from a child thank you for being brave framed nearby. We're the blueprint, Evelyn said, her hand in his. The hospital hummed with purpose, disparities gone, trust restored. Evelyn's legacy wasn't just the protocol, it was a world where no one was unseen. Her mother's memory, once a weight, was now a guide. As stars lit the Chicago skyline, Evelyn knew the fight was won, but its echoes would save lives forever. What did Evelyn's story stir in you? Have you faced or witnessed injustice in healthcare or elsewhere? Share your thoughts below, take a stand, voice your perspective. How should we confront bias and violence in our systems? Your comment could spark change. Like, subscribe, and join us for more stories of courage.